Hello. I'm going to show you a little bit about how to do Gothic text or Gothic Textura Quadrata. The things to be aware of while doing this is that Gothic really benefits from being done really evenly. So in order to do it, you have to have really nice even lines. And as you can see here, I set up some really nice measured out lines in order to do this. So the first thing I want to show is how to make good lines. In order to do that, of course, you need your paper nice and taped down on a square surface. Having a good T-square is also a very important tool. A good mechanical pencil, and this is the magic tool right here, and this is called an Ames lettering guide. And it's a fairly inexpensive piece of plastic, but it really does an amazing trick. And if you look really closely, bring the camera down a little bit closer here, you can see on it that there are a series of numbers on it that you can see. You got 4 major rows of lines. One of them, right up here, you have 3/5. This one right here is a 1-for-1, right here in the middle. And then you have over here a 2/3. So with the 1-for-1, which is that middle series of lines, if I have it set up on my T-square, if I draw those lines and go to the next line, next dot, and the next dot, see how each spacing is exactly the same. Now that can be useful for some hands, but if you take a look at the top lines here, what I actually used was the 3/5. So when I put in a line, the next dot down will make that spacing, and if I go to the next one, you'll see that there's a little curved line that'll go to the next one that you use, and you'll see that that's much wider. And then I can go down to the next one and get that same spacing from this one, and then I follow to the next curved line. So I can use this as I place to write, and then I have a really nice even interlinear space to use. And that's for the things like the marks above the D's, or the lines that come down below a G or a Q. So you have that space for the ascenders or the descenders of the letters. The 2/3 is the same idea, only it's a bit bigger. So if I go down to the next line, I still have a same space that's very similar in width to that one, but the bigger space is quite a bit larger than it is on the other one, at least in comparison. So you have one that is 2/3 relationship as opposed to 3/5 relationship. But the great thing about this is that as you turn it, you can make that be whatever you want it to be as far as size. So you can have it be anything as small as a 2mm space up to a 10mm space. So you can have a lot of variation in how you set up your lines, just using this simple little tool, which is indispensable for making that. So once you have your lines set up, we can start working on figuring out the letter shapes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of go through the alphabet with the Gothic text and show you basically how to create each letter. So we'll start off with A. So here we go. With A, you kind of want to start with your first line. Well, let me back this up a second. The big thing about Gothic is being able to figure out how to make really nice downstrokes. So that is your basic thing. If you can make a really even set of vertical lines, you will have Gothic all figured out. because it's all about making really nice, even vertical lines. Notice how I have a vertical line, then I have a nib's worth of space in between, another vertical line, another nib's worth of space, another vertical line, another nib's worth of space. Pretty much, while you're doing a single word of Gothic, you want those lines to be exactly one nib's worth apart from each other. And that's how you get that to be really nice and stacked. And it's with those types of strokes that you're able to do the real tricks with Gothic. For instance, if I just start adding on to those lines, I can start making, well, I'll show you in just a second. I got to think for a second, so hold on. 1, 2, 3. So that just looks like a whole bunch of lines. But now when I go in and add a little bit of things, you have a word. Now it looks like it's just one big kind of blob of words, but if you look really closely, it says minimum. Because the M-I-N-I-M-U-M, it all kind of blends in with itself. And this is one of those tricks that is done with this in order to see if you can really do Gothic. Because if you can make the letters kind of mold into each other, where you have to look really closely to see where they actually split, that's a sign of really having Gothic under your hand. So again, back to going to the alphabet. We're going to start right here with the A. So I'm going to start kind of halfway down the line. So right here, and I'm going to make a small dot. Then I'm going to go one nib space, and then another line. And this one I'm going to go almost from the top to almost to the bottom. And here I'm going to, oh, should mention that I have my nib at a 45-degree angle. So if I go at a 45, it's a flat line. If I go straight down, it's really thick. So here I'm going to start right on the line, diagonally up to the line, diagonally down, diagonally back up, and then down. Then I'm going to go to the top of this nib here, and I'm just going to go whoop, right up. And I'm going to go above it, go up to the top line, and then down. And there you have an A. So remember how we said before how every letter should be one space in between? So we're going to take one space, and then we're going to start the B. For the B, I'm going to start above the line and go straight down to just before it. Then I'm going to go one space and make another line. And here I'm going to come from the line up, diagonally down, and up. I'm going to start here and go up to the line and diagonally down. And then I'm going to go up to the top, and I'm going to do a little tick and a little tick. And there you have a B. I'm going to make another space so that I can start the C. And the C, I'm just going to make a line down, start at the bottom, diagonally up, diagonally down, diagonally up. Then I'm going to start at the top of the line and go diagonally up, and then I'm going to do a little whoop, and then I have a C. Sorry, can't even say the letters properly. Going to take another space, do 2 lines. One, another space, line. And for our D, we're going to start at the bottom. I'm going to tick up, diagonally down, diagonally up. And I'm going to start above the space. And what I'm going to do is this line like that. It's kind of a little curvy line. And then I'm going to start here and just tick diagonally up to it. And I have a D. E works like this. Go straight down, and then I'm going to go diagonally up, down, and up again. And here I'm going to start on the line, go up to the line, down a little bit, and then back. F is going to start right on the line, or right above it, sorry. Go straight down. I'm going to make a little tick right down here. Then I'm going to go from the line diagonally back and then diagonally back. So I kind of made this triangle on the side of the letter. From here, I'm going to go up diagonally and a little bit of a curved line and then tick it back. And then I'm going to just do a curved line right here with another little tick right there. Going to make another space and make a G. 2 lines. I'm going to tick up, back down. Going to make a little tick off the side of it. Remember how we kind of made that curved line for a D? We're going to do the same thing, only we're going to start at the bottom. So I'm going to kind of start right at the line, curve up and down. Then I'm going to go diagonally back and then curve around. And we have a G. H starts right here. I'm going to go down and make another line. 1 tick, another tick, up and down, and there. Going to make another space for an I. Diagonally up, diagonally down. Diagonally up, diagonally down. I. J. Start the line just like you would normally, only we're going to swoop it off. And then diagonally up and down. K is a little complicated. We're going to start up, come down, make that diagonal tick. We're going to start about halfway in the linear space. Diagonally up, diagonally down, and back. And then I'm going to start halfway in here, go over a little bit, and then straight down. And then make the diagonal tick. Flick, flick. There's your K. L, line straight down, diagonal tick, bloop. Actually, probably one of the simplest ones, along with the I. M, you need to make 3 even lines. 1, 2, 3. On the bottom ones, you want to make sure they don't actually touch. Just a little bit of space in between them. On the top, you want them to touch, and that's how you can tell it's an M versus a W. And again, that kind of comes back to that word we did up here with the idea of just enough space so that you can just barely tell what the letter is. N is the same idea as M, only it's, of course, 2 lines. 1, 2, little tick, come up to the line, down, diagonally up, diagonally down. O, 2 lines, up from the line, down, up, from here, up to the line, and down. P, I'm going to start and go down below the line. And we're going to make another line right there. Now we're going to make, starting on the bottom line here, we're going to swoop up and across and over. So that's another one of those little curvy lines. The top of the P, up to the line and diagonally down. And we're going to make a little tick and another tick. Q is the same thing, only pretty much in reverse. Two lines, up and tick, kind of like the G. At least the top of the G is very similar. Q, we're going to go up, down, and then we're going to go down, and we're going to just tick it to the side. R. One line going straight down. One diagonal tick. Go up, down, up. A little swoop. And then another swoop. Now, you're thinking, why do you do that weird little swoop there? Remember, if we're trying to make sure we are keeping up this space, we want to really use up all the space here. If you take a look at the word Textura, you can kind of see it. If I didn't have this swoop on the T or the swoop on the R, there would be these open spaces in the words. And that little swoop is there to kind of take up that open space and to keep that fill of text. When you take a look at a extant piece that uses Gothic, the Gothic hand, you'll see that the words just keep on going and they don't really waste space like that. So that's why we have that little tick. S is probably one of the most complicated words. Letters, sorry. We're going to start as if we're making a line going all the way down, but we're only going to go part of the way down. Actually, in a lot of ways, it's like the beginning of the A, where we use that little halfway tick. So we have that little partway down line. We're going to start at the top of it, go diagonally up to the line, and we're going to do a curved line, sort of like how the C had that curve. And then we're going to go diagonally all the way down to the bottom line. Then we're going to do another curve. Now we're going to go halfway between that diagonal, go over and straight down. And from the bottom of this, we're going to go over. T, we're going to start above the line, come straight down, diagonally up, diagonally down. We're going to start at the top of this, diagonally back to the line, across, straight across, and then another swoop, just like we did with the R. U. Think of it just like an N, only upside down. On the bottom, we go up to the line, down, and up, a little tick down. And here we're going to go up and down, up and down. See how it connects on the bottom, not on the top. See how the N connected at the top, not on the bottom. V. V is one of my favorites. It's got a fun little swoop to it. So we're going to kind of start above the line. And what we're going to do, just hold on a second so I make sure I do this right. Yeah. So we're going to start by going back and then straight down. See how I made this like weird hook to it? And then we're going to do a normal line. And it's very much like the U, only it has that swoop. We come up, we come down, we come up, and we go like that. It's one of my favorites. It's got a weird feel to it, but I kind of love it. W. Again, it's like the M in reverse. 3 lines. 1, 2, 3. Diagonally up, diagonally down, diagonally up, diagonally down, diagonally up. And then up, down, up, down, up, down. Notice how it doesn't connect at the top. It connects at the bottom. X. X looks weird. I'm going to give you that warning right now. X looks funky. Make a normal line. Diagonally up, diagonally down. We're going to go diagonally up, diagonally down. Like so. It almost looks like an R. But then we're going to do a swoop in the middle of it. Yes, that's an X. I know what you're thinking. That doesn't look like an X. It's an X. Y. Think of the J. It's very similar to the J. We're going to start here, go straight down, and then kind of go to the side. Then we're going to do another line. Same idea. Straight down, go to the side, and then we're going to connect the two and curve back. Like a U, we're going to connect at the top. And Z, we're going to do those curved lines, sort of like how we had on the S. Going across, diagonally down to the bottom line, curved line, and then we're going to do a curved line in the middle. And there is the Gothic alphabet. Hope that helps. Remember, with Gothic, it's all about taking your time and making those really nice, even downstrokes. If you can make a really nice, even downstroke, that's half the battle. Then, making sure that they are line, nib space, line, nib space, line, nib space, line. You can get that even. The rest of it is just about figuring out what makes the individual letters. Anyway, enjoy.